Welcome to this video. This is the video where we are almost about to release the new ISOs at the beginning of February, and we tell you what we've done the last month. So Ctrl-Alt-G. Let's go to ArcoLinux.info. That's the information website, and we'll release more than the core ISOs: CHA, Chat, WM, Hyperlink, Plasma, Wayfire, those guys as well. And we're going over the new things. Well, the new thing is already mentioned here. New ArcoLinux Welcome Application, or AWA, right? And in here we have divisions, tabs up here, but the most important bit is that you either go offline and then choose grub or systemd. So when you click, you get a pop-up and you need to decide. Same thing here, advanced installation. Everything needs to work, all the internet connections and keys, and shouldn't be any problems with dependencies and conflicts and everything. If everything is okay, then it works. Otherwise, use the easy installation if the advanced installation fails, right? This is always going to work. This is what most of Linux distributions give you. No net module and click, 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 click and install more stuff. So that's certainly one of the major things, right? And I see I have to remove this one. That's too much here. Anyway, the release article is here, so we're going over what we need to tell to you. You may or may not have seen that I made a derivation or a sidetracking, and that's NixOS. I was on NixOS for a while, and then I hated the fact that I could not close the terminal, the Firefox, whatever was open. I couldn't press Super Q or Super Shift Q, and these are key bindings that are well known to people on the tiling window managers, right? I'm all the time on CHADWM or ChatWM. The thing is, when we open something, Ctrl-T, we do immediately Super Q or Ctrl-T, Super Shift Q. So that's in my fingers. I don't think about it, but it was not on Plasma. So I've changed it to NixOS and then came back and I said, well, why don't I have that on Plasma? So that's it. That's the small change. So Super Q, Super Shift Q on Plasma, if you get, of course, everything from the etc.scal to your own system. So you can set it yourself, of course, manually. But I wanted to have an out of the box a possibility to kill something. Super Q. Okay. I had a question about is a package from the internet really out of date when it says out of date? And the AURs is a world apart, and after 6 years of building packages, I've tried to explain to you here that sometimes when it's marked out of date, it is not out of date, right? There are users out there, thousands of users, and they click on it and say this package is out of date, but it's not really. So when you build it, you always get the last version from GitHub, Gitbucket, GitLab, anything, and then you have the last version, even though that AUR mentions a very old number. Here you see probably quite well, I hope quite well, 0922, and here it says 0924. It has been built by me, yours truly. Every day we build packages. So the reference on the AUR is coming from the maintainer. He pushes something to the internet. But there are scripts out there that you don't need to maintain. If you build it, you get the last number. You always have the last number. And I've tried to explain that in this video. And I think it's important to leave the maintainers alone and do not mark it as out of date if it is not out of date, right? If it is really just you who needs to build it and you have the last version, then you shouldn't flag it out of date. All right. So let's help these guys who do it all for free, put their time in, and leave the flag there alone. We have chat WM. Thanks to Fennec, we can color these little things up here, so icons. I've made a little bit of organization here. There's Firefox, there's Vivaldi, there's Discord, there's Telegram, which means in my eyes, second screen, first screen, this is on the first screen, these two are on the second screen, and all the rest can go anywhere, right? I have already a logic in my head, but it's fine that we can do this now. We can color these little icons, and you should go change the icons if you like. This image is actually going over this here, the ArcoLinux Power Menu Git. Also a result of me going sidetracking on NixOS. There was no way to get out of BSPWM, awesome Qtile and so on. There was nothing there. There was no ArcoLinux logout, the one we have, right? So I've made something quickly, and then later I said I'm missing this. So there you go. We have an ArcoLinux Power Menu Git, and what did we do extra that we did not do on NixOS? We've added yet a little application where you can choose 5 styles and 16 colors, so that's 80 variants that you can make with a menu to log out, basically, right? It's not much, it's fun, that's for sure. That's there are 16 million colors to choose from, so please be my guest, go change it. You can have this horizontal, vertical, I mean, it's all fun and play. And this i3 log fancy dual monitors, and I've added more, is also fun. So maybe you would like to change. So yay i3 log. Have a look around. We have the better log screen was default always. Now there is i3 log fancy dual monitors Git and i3 log color. Those guys, and I believe there are more tomorrow, and they will be built. So there are lots of choices here, i3 log, and you can play with these applications to lock your system, basically. Yeah, so there have been, I've created 5 videos to teach you how to create color themes, how to create new styles, and that's the fun. I always explain how I do it with tools, with color hints I see here that we are going to install. So the workflow matters for me, so you can use it on anything else in the future. So the ArcoLinux Welcome app, or AWA, has been redesigned, not by me, but by Fennec. He put in his time, Christmas time, away from family, programming for us a new design, a smaller design, and it already is, well, we have results in the sense that there was somebody with a very small laptop screen, and the old window, right, the old ArcoLinux Welcome app was just too big for the small screen. And now that's of course solved because of the fact that this is a very small application. Okay, so this is what you see when you install it. You know the drill. Offline, just a simple basic Linux installation, but you decide grub or systemd, and here you have lots of choices. You need lots of intelligence in the sense of knowing what are all these packages, what should I select, what not. So that's the advanced installation, and afterwards, if you reboot, the same application becomes this. We tell you that we have software remover and installer. We have the ATT, launch ArcoLinux tweak tool. We can update the Arch mirrors, and sometimes we do need the screen resolution for tiling window managers, for example. So information available. At some point in time we wanted to build, and guess what? Arch ISO gave us an error. So we've built our own Arch ISO, and instead of 74-1 we are using 74R2, right? Release 2 after that version. And the fix is in there. The fix was the problem with the licenses keys that was updated, and the path to it is wrong, broken, so everything stops. So that's fixed. We investigated all the audio applications that we have. We had some criteria. what should we use? And it should work on X11, on Wayland. It should be still maintained. Some of these things you don't see much movement. It's likely to be maintained in the future. We can try to have a guess, right? Is KDE behind it? Is GNOME behind it? Things like that. It has to be intuitive in adding or playing folders and files. A nice look. Definitely nice, right? Definitely nice. You can have, it's the same application, right? You can have this look, that look. And it's not too complex because there were really very complex tools there. And it was not too minimal, so that'd be even MPV or very minimal. It has to be a little bit more. Nice covers, maybe a full screen, multimedia center feeling, handle thousands of folders, so I've tested it. I've put all my folders that I have, CDs that we, how do you say that again? Changed into MP3s, right? And I've tested it out. So voila, that's the choice. Basically, Amberol, Lollipop, or Sayonara were the three guys who were left over, and then I started testing on these three. We've changed things in Hyperland, Sway, and Wayfire. So we are now on the Wayfire Git and the Hyperland Git, right? And we're going to keep moving to consolidate, the best word I can say, to see that these three are a little bit aligned, another word, and BTOP as default, open as root, IntuiNR, W displays, and WG look, stuff like that, looking at what can we learn from each other, right, from these desktops. Wanting to have Python Pywall, so fun little thing that colors your elements of your Linux system. We've created choices, these choices to select, I want to have how many waybars? 24 waybars. And here another one, another choice, another 9 waybar choices, right? So this is CSS, and that's the look of it, the design of it. So have a look, it's interesting to play around with these things. And once it was on Hyperland, or was it Wayfire first, both of them got it, not Sway, right? Hyperland and both Wayfire got these little tools to change the color and the design of Waybar, sorry. Yes, I've been playing with website design in a sense. I wanted to have WordPress, and it started in the journey of NixOS. There was a little button there, so button, I don't know, what was it again? Anyway, I got a what if on NixOS. Can I host a WordPress website? And yes, that was super easy, and I've made a video about it saying it's super easy, but then it stopped. I was unable to change anything in WordPress. I could not edit anything, upload anything, plugins, themes. Lack of knowledge, I'm sure, but I did this same exercise on ArcoLinux, and now we have the possibility to install ArcoLinux together with XAMPP, right? X stands for cross, A Apache, M Maria database, P PHP, and P not Python but Perl. And then I'll let ChatGPT do its work, right? So this information you see here, localhost WordPress index PHP. So I've copy pasted the code in there, and voila, you've got yourself an article. And here's the explanation how to do it. Test your themes, test the plugins locally, and then later you put it on the website. We've changed these things, so I think we should check this if this was not in previous article already, and this is a leftover of previous article. Let's see later on, but it doesn't hurt to tell you again. Maybe I should just leave it in. If you want to keep rolling, then watch out, because we've abandoned the Wayland profile and the Wayfire profile. Both of these guys are out. If you're on Hyperland, remove these guys, remove these guys, remove these guys. It will break things. It will be better if you remove it. Okay. I do think this is an old thing from January, but I'll keep it in. The video can go, but a reminder for this is maybe crucial. All right, and that's what's new that's coming in here. The video will be put in here, and then later we'll make a video how to stay rolling if there are issues with ArcoLinux keyring, right? Stuff like that. All right, I hope you enjoy ArcoLinux, and maybe I should say, but if you are on ArcoLinux already for quite some time, there is this nice little button that says donation, as donations are going down, and it should be mentioned from time to time, right, that everything costs money, and you can choose how to donate. All right, cheers.